5 on Your Side at 10 starts now.
It's been a pleasant weekend with temperatures in the 70s, but big changes arrive as we work into next week. Warmer conditions return. I got your latest forecast coming up.
A weekend filled with protests against growing immigration enforcement across the U.S.
We know that they're not going after criminals. They're going after our communities.
Why thousands say the Trump administration is hurting more communities than helping. Our top story, a charity golf event full of legends, is back in St. Louis. Tonight, the many ways our area is benefiting thanks to the PGA Showcase.
This is what it's all about. We work on this all year long. And then the impact for the community.
It's the biggest golf weekend in St. Louis. Thousands bringing their business and excitement to watch some of the golf's greatest senior legends. It's all part of the annual Stiefel Charity Classic Tournament. Thanks for joining us, everyone, at 10. I'm Robert Townsend. New tonight, 5 on Your Side's Andy Krall was there, hearing how today's event is a big win, not only for those at the top of the leaderboard, but also the St. Louis economy.
With a new name but the same history, the Stiefel Charity Classic is back at Norwood Hills Country Club. As with any typical PGA Tour Champions event, the tournament is expected to contribute an estimated $10 million to the St. Louis economy.
There's a lot of regional travel that comes in to see the tournament, obviously a lot of local. But for us, it's the PGA Tour, right? It's the players, it's the caddies, it's the tour staff, it's the production for the television side. And that's probably 200 plus individuals that are here for 4 nights minimum.
Also hitting with a philanthropic boost, benefiting charities like the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis and the Urban League, which continue to provide aid for families impacted by the May 16th tornado.
We had ticket sales for a period of time where 100% went back to the Red Cross for tornado relief. We know it's a long road for recovery. But our charity partners definitely stepped up in a time of need.
Speaking of stepping up, some of the 78 golfers did exactly that. In the last 3 years, the likes of Padraig Harrington and Y.E. Yang have hoisted their trophy high on this 18th hole. This year, the elite roster collectively represents 213 PGA Tour Champions victories, including Steve Flesch, who won this tournament back in 2023.
It was so much fun, and it was even more special because my son was caddying for me as he is this year.
What is the word that pops into your mind, Steve, when you think about heading into Championship Sunday? What is the mentality going to be heading into the last day?
It's got to be aggressiveness, not, reserved aggressiveness. You got to pick your spots.
A strategy that served Czech Republic native Alex Jako well. Saturday's co-leader said St. Louis has some similarities to his home in Frankfurt, Germany.
My golf course looks quite like this. I grew up on a tight golf course, a lot of trees, and maybe that's why I'm a good ball striker, or normally a good ball striker, because we had to just hit it straight all the time.
And come October 2026, this will be the first of 3 PGA Tour Champions playoff events. Andy Krall, 5 on Your Side.
It's always a popular event. Andy, thanks. If you're interested in attending Championship Sunday, gates open at 9 a.m. with the new Kids Zone beginning at 10. A Putt for Charity contest will also be on the main putting green tomorrow afternoon. Right now, a deadly North City shooting is being investigated by the St. Louis Homicide Unit. This was the scene a few hours ago on Henner Avenue, not far from I-70 in Riverview. Police say a man died after suffering gunshot wounds. Investigators tell us they have not had any other new details or anything else to add at this point. Anyone with any information is asked to call St. Louis Police. Tonight, we're learning new details about a deadly motorcycle crash in Pacific, Missouri. Legendary monster truck driver Dan Runte was killed in that crash. That's according to Runte's family. It happened Friday morning at the intersection of Osage Street and Cedar Drive. Missouri State Highway Patrol says Runte's motorcycle was hit head-on by an SUV attempting to make a left turn. He died at the scene. The 61-year-old Runte was once called one of the greatest monster truck drivers of all time. He drove Bigfoot full-time for years. Runte earned several championships and awards during his decades-long career. Tonight, St. Louis police need your help finding this woman. 45-year-old Angela Robinson Jimerson hasn't been seen since last month. She was last spotted on Halls Ferry Road, not far from the St. Andrews of Jennings retirement home. Police say Jimerson is known to ride the Metro bus. If you have any information about her whereabouts, call the police department's missing persons unit at 314-444-5738. Today, people in Alton, Illinois took to the streets to protest against the Trump administration. Those we spoke to say they're frustrated with the president's federal funding cuts. This was one of several area groups speaking out against the Trump administration. Protesters were also out in O'Fallon and Collinsville, Illinois. Now, that was just one of many protests held across the country against the Trump administration. Protesters flooding streets in Chicago, Philadelphia, and D.C. to voice their disdain for the White House's immigration and customs enforcement. Jen Sullivan reports on the pushback now being seen nationwide.
Protesters taking to the streets of Metro Chicago Saturday as the Trump administration threatens to ramp up immigration and customs enforcement raids. The move is sparking outrage among many Democratic state and local leaders in Illinois.
Know that there is the possibility that ICE will be on the ground and causing some mayhem. Please protest, pull out your phone, video everything that they're doing.
The White House has also threatened to deploy National Guard troops to Chicago to help combat crime. Over Labor Day weekend alone, police say at least 7 people were killed and more than 50 others were wounded in several shootings across the city.
These people are sick. There's something wrong with them.
Protests also staged in Washington, D.C. Saturday and Savannah, Georgia, Friday, just days after a massive ICE raid at a Hyundai plant west of that city.
We need all work to end on the site right now.
475 people were arrested there Thursday.
This, in fact, was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
Some Democrats say such raids and guard deployments amount to government overreach by Trump.
He knows that this goes against the mission of the National Guard. He knows this goes against the scope and scale.
Public opinion about immigration appears to be shifting. According to a recent Gallup poll, when asked should immigration be kept at its present level, increased or decreased, 30% of Americans polled now say decreased as opposed to 55% in June of 2024. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
A cultural celebration showcasing the best food and drinks from Germany will take you to this year's Oktoberfest happening at Grants Farm. Plus, a vibrant transformation is bringing life to a community ravaged by the May 16th tornado.
We hope one day that this whole plaza will be rebuilt as well. We need people to keep the attention on this block.
Why artists and neighbors say this colorful event is about more than just paint.
Another pleasant day today. Today's highs were in the upper 70s across the region, officially 78 degrees at the airport. But we're headed to the 90s. We'll talk about when that arrives coming up next.
New at 10, it was a perfect day to visit Grants Farm. Today was day 2 of Oktoberfest, held at the iconic St. Louis County landmark. The yearly celebration showcases authentic German foods, lots of drinks to all who stop by. Don't worry if you missed today's outing, you still have another chance to join in on the fun tomorrow. Week 2 of Oktoberfest is happening next weekend, running from Friday to Sunday. Well, this week, Mizzou students got a rare look at a tiger root canal. The school says Senta, a tiger from the Dickerson Park Zoo in Springfield, Missouri, had a fractured tooth. So the zoo called the College of Veterinary Medicine for help. Vets performed the root canal, saved the big cat's tooth, and gave students quite a unique learning experience.
We know that eventually that tooth would become infected if it wasn't treated with a root canal. And so for us, knowing that that's not going to happen now, he's going to be able to maintain the part of the tooth that he has left.
Vets actually sealed the top of the tooth to keep it strong and withstand anything the tiger may put it through. Hopefully tonight, Santa is feeling a lot better. More help for neighbors impacted by the May 16th tornado, why local artists are using their skills to apply a fresh coat of community, one brush at a time. Tonight, we're tracking the ongoing relief and recovery efforts, helping those impacted by the May 16th tornado. Like many communities across the St. Louis area, the Del Mar Maker District continues to rebuild. 5 on Your Side's Mercedes McKay shows us how dozens of local artists hope to bring color back to their neighborhood.
Behind the spray-painted outlines of flowers lies a deeper meaning for artist Norm Forever.
Something that continues to bloom even after part of the plant has gone away.
A symbol of the Del Mar Maker District as it continues to deal with the aftermath of the May 16th tornado.
This is an effort to bring joy, bring light, bring color, bring vibrancy into this plaza where the businesses are boarded.
Lisa Potts with Del Mar Main Street says the nonprofit has raised $100,000 for the businesses at Legacy Plaza East. And Paint the Way Home is just a piece of the recovery movement.
This is just the beginning. We don't know where this is going to go, but we're just trying to keep the excitement up, the momentum up, and keep all eyes on this street because it's going to take all of us.
The 20 large wooden boards covering up scars from a storm that changed our city forever. But now 29 artists are turning that pain into change.
We're all painting images of hope, images of resilience, things like nature elements that kind of give that feeling of growth.
Each brushstroke depicting the renewal of Del Mar and the support that surrounds them.
We are a small community, so, doing for our community is something that's, it's natural. That's God-given. That's something we're supposed to do.
Bringing color back to the area isn't just for those who call Del Mar home, but a message to catch everyone's eyes.
We're out here trying to, keep people's hope up, and hopefully get the attention of everybody, not, the residents, the businesses, the city, people outside of St. Louis. We need help because we can't do it alone.
Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
What a neat community project. Del Mar Main Street is continuing to raise money for the businesses impacted by the tornado. Now, to learn how to donate, head to our website, ksdk.com, and check out this story under the As Seen on TV section. Well, today was definitely a beautiful day. Lots of sun, cool temperatures to get out and enjoy. Do a little painting, if you will. Meteorologist Lance Blocker. The big question is, how long will it last?
The next few days, but we're going to heat back up. Summer is on its way back to our region. Not tonight, though. Check out these very comfortable temperatures in the 50s and 60s at this hour. Chesterfield 59, DeSoto 57. Warrenton 61 degrees, Salem 55. So it's nice tonight, overnight tonight as well. We're all going to drop down to the low to mid 50s across the region. That's what we'll start out our Sunday morning as well. We're going to warm back up just to the low to mid 70s tomorrow. So another pleasant fall-like day for us across the area, but unfortunately that is going to end. Higher pressure allows us to warm back up. 78 on Monday, that's not bad. We'll take that. Low 80s on Tuesday, also not bad. Upper 80s Wednesday in September. That's not what we want. Low 90s for us on Thursday. And the reason for that change is because of this area of high pressure, this ridge well off to the southwest and the desert southwest, that grows and pushes forward into our region over the coming days, which results in warmer temperatures. And the reason why is because of pressure. In low pressure scenarios, the heat is allowed to escape from the surface. That's why we get storms. That's why we get rain. That's why we get clouds. Unfortunately, as that high pressure builds in our area, it keeps the heat locked into the surface and also allows that humidity to stay there as well. So hot and humid conditions are expected to return thanks to that area of high pressure. That'll be over our area for at least the next week or so. Some forecast models want to keep it in play even longer than that. Hopefully not so much. And the reason being is because it's going to stay dry. With that high pressure keeping things at the surface, it means we're not going to get any help with this. This was last week's drought update. This is this week's drought update. We've only had 0.16 of an inch of rainfall for us over the past 20 days since August the 18th. And during this hot stretch, again, temperatures are going to hover around 90 degrees, especially between Wednesday and Sunday. So hopefully we can see that ridge begin to break down by the end of the forecast period, but that's out of the 7-day forecast for us so far. The 7-day forecast here showing, again, dry conditions, warmer as well. So get outside and enjoy it tomorrow with highs only topping out in the mid 60s across the area. Sunny skies, those sun icons are really rampant throughout the 7-day forecast. If we had it at 10, I promise you it would probably be even into that stretch there too. So we've enjoyed the nice fall football weather, but unfortunately we're headed back to summer and baseball weather.
Enjoy the 70s for now.
That's right. Do that for sure.
All right, Lance, thanks. Holden's here now with what's coming up in sports.
Well, after nearly a 14-year hiatus, the border war is back, and the big game lived up to the hype. Corey's in Columbia to break it all down. Plus, there were fireworks tonight at Busch. I'll explain why the guys in red jackets, they even went home with a smile. 5,029 days. That's exactly how long it's been since Kansas and Missouri met on the gridiron. As two schools renewed the border war for the first time in 13 years, it was obvious early that there was no love lost between each side. It was a packed house at Faurot Field, and the home crowd had to watch as Kansas built up a 15-point lead in the first half behind Jalen Daniels' keeper. That made it 21-6. After clawing their way back to tie it at half, Mizzou would take the lead late in the third quarter on this 11-yard pass from Bo Prabula to Brett Norfleet. However, Kansas would once again reclaim the lead at 31-28. All they need to do is get a stop on fourth down, but it's Norfleet again. He gets a block down the sideline and gets in for 6 as Mizzou pulls away to win this one late. Your final score there is 42-31. 5 on your sides. Corey Miller is in Columbia to break down the Tigers' largest comeback win in a decade.
Well, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, but perhaps in the case of the border war, absence makes the rivalry go stronger. The animosity was as strong as ever for Kansas and Missouri's first meeting on the football field since 2011, and it produced a classic in Columbia. If there's been a college football stadium more ready for a rivalry, I haven't seen it. The border war was back in all its glory between the Tigers and the Jayhawks.
I think our fans really showed out. This was the Missouri that I've always believed in and dreamed in.
It looked like a nightmare at first for the Faurot faithful, with Kansas racing out to a 21-6 lead. Mizzou dug themselves out of the hole to tie the game at the half, thanks to some big plays on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it was a little ironic because my main message to the team this week was to bounce back when we face adversity.
Quarterback Bo Prabula starred again with 3 touchdowns and 334 yards passing, as well as a handful of clutch fourth down conversions. The St. Louis trio of Kevin Coleman, Brett Norfleet, and Jamal Roberts combined for 354 yards and 4 touchdowns, including Roberts' long run to ice the game.
Once I got here and I found out the history, but I already knew the history, it meant everything to win this game. We had a couple people come in, preach to us what it meant to the fans, to the alumni, and just people that attend to this school.
So the drum stays in Missouri as the Tigers march to the beat of a 42-31 border war victory. Reporting in Columbia, Corey Miller, 5 on your side sports.
Number 11 Illinois went into Durham this morning to take on what appeared to be a solid Duke squad. We pick it up with the Devils leading 6-0, but Lute Altmaier throws a dart to Justin Bowick at the goal line. They would call him out at the 1, but the Illini would punch it in on the next play. We're going to fast forward to the second half. The Illini up 1, and Altmaier again finds Bowick on a little slant. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season, and it makes it 21-13. Just over 2 minutes later, the Illini would get tricky. Direct snap to Hank Beatty. He's going to fake the toss, pick up a couple of blocks, and he finds his way to pay dirt. Altmaier would finish the game with 296 yards passing and 3 touchdowns as the Illini pull away for the 45-19 win. This afternoon over at Ballpark Village, the Cardinals welcomed their 12th ever class into the Team Hall of Fame. This year's class was made up of 3 men: shortstop Edgar Renteria, who's best known for his clutch bat, longtime general manager Walt Jocketty, who built the team into a juggernaut in the early 2000s, and reliever turned broadcaster Al Rabowski. The Mad Hungarian later said he wouldn't be wearing a red jacket today if it weren't for the best fans in baseball.
You know, I fed off the energy of the crowd, and every day I go to the ballpark, my ego gets fed. It's just I see so many familiar faces, happy faces. The best thing is my ERA doesn't go up anymore, so it's truly an honor.
The Cardinals entered the 9th down 2-0 tonight, but Jordan Walker would come up clutch with the bases loaded, trailing 2-1. He sends this one to left, and 2 runs would come around to score as the Cardinals walk off the Giants. 3-2 is your final. A $2.1 million purse is on the lineup at Norwood Hills Country Club during the Stiefel Charity Classic, and Scott McCarron is fighting for his share. Look as he pulls the string there on 17th for the Eagle. He would finish even through the first 2 rounds. The real story of the day was the move up the leaderboard by Alex Shaka. This birdie on 16 helped him to 5 under on the day. He's tied with Stuart Sink for the lead at 9 under heading into tomorrow's final round. And just over about an hour and a half ago in Madison, Connor Zilic took the checkered flag in the New Way 200 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. The win was Zilic's 4th win in a row, 7th win in his last 8 races, and his 9th win of the entire Xfinity Series this season. Of course, we've got the big boys on the track out there tomorrow, and it's going to be a good one.
Everybody's looking forward to that.
You know, Darius, our producer, was saying, he was like, I'm taking like 8 friends. He was asking for tips. I had to give him some earplugs. It gets loud out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it does.
Hold it, thanks. And a final check of our weather.
And the weather for the race tomorrow too is perfect. I mean, phenomenal. Check that out. 76 degrees, mid-50s to start out the day tomorrow morning, so perhaps a little bit chilly. But we warm up next week, though, with highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s as we get on in the middle part of next week. So brace for that and enjoy the next couple of days of pleasant weather.
You know, a lot of folks are also talking about tonight's big Powerball. It is a whopping $2 billion. Don't worry about buying tickets because I've got the winning tickets right here.
Yeah,
and
still
if you
sitting
want to
here,
know,
so
those tonight's winning numbers, of course, are 11, 23, 44, 61, 62, and the Powerball number is 17. Again, I've got the winning number, so hey.
You try for second
If you don't see me
place.
next week, you'll know why.
Can you float me a few bucks?
Yeah.
Maybe $10.
I appreciate you.
That's Fabio Side at 10. Saturday Night Live is coming your way next. Start your day bright and early with Today in St. Louis, beginning at 6 a.m. Have a great tomorrow, everybody.